Moving forward would be very difficult if you don't see meaning in your goals. Any action should be filled with something more, even if it's not of paramount importance. You must know why you get up in the morning. In this video I'll tell you about why it's necessary to see meaning even in small things. And I'll start with a life story. One day I noticed that it became tough for me to get up in the morning. This surprised me because I always did it very easily. And then I started to figure it out. This happened a couple of years ago and I quickly realized the reason. I had free time in the morning. The thing is, I hate when I have nothing to do. I have to always know where I need to move now or in 1 hour, so that my day remains as eventful as possible. At that moment I felt that nothing would change even if I sleep a couple more hours. And it alarmed me. I have always slept quite little. 5 to 6 hours is enough for me to feel cheerful and energetic all day, but only if this day inspires me. And I decided to fill the early rise with meaning. I began to load my morning with things that are quite hard to do at other times. For example, around that time I got my first experience of running a YouTube channel and I was very dependent on the sun. If I hadn't started recording in the morning, then at another time the result would be much worse. I also realized that if I continue to sleep, then I wouldn't have enough time for new tasks during the day or evening. Either act now or give up, but I never do the last. Overall, it gave meaning to getting up early again, and I was pleased with the result. Without it, none of the stages would have been so effective. I want to share with you 3 reasons why you should listen to my experience and know the reason of any action. First, this will help you plan your time much better. Moreover, thanks to the fact that you fill everything around you with meaning, you will be able to plan your life far ahead and see the whole picture on a macro level. Think for yourself. Only when all the particles are interconnected they form something beautiful. What you want to achieve. How can you build the future of something meaningless? I'm talking about the future you'll be proud of. It's like consuming only junk food and expecting to have a perfect body by the age of 40-45. It's important to understand what fuels your progress. Why am I sure that filling with meaning helps you better plan your time and your life? Because you start to think sanely when the system is healthy. You understand that everything is moving in the right direction. No matter where you look, the cause and effect relationship is visible. You notice dependencies and can explain to yourself why you do what you do. And even if you move from macro to micro, within 1 day you will be more effective. Look at my example with getting up in the morning. The widest and longest road consists of 1 billion of bricks, and each of them is the consequence of your thinking, so try to set difficult tasks for yourself and fill every step with meaning. Second, any action will become much more effective. It seems to me that there is even no need to explain anything here. You know from your own experience that if some action makes 0 sense, you either don't take it up at all or do it without enthusiasm. I can say from my own experience that I never do meaningless things. It happens that I just lie down on the ground and look at the night sky. But it also has its own idea. When I do it, my mind opens to new thoughts. This is my inspiration, and even if from the outside it may seem that I'm doing pretty much nothing, in reality I'm working on my condition. Do you remember how at school you were forced to learn a lot of absolutely unnecessary stuff? You didn't understand why it was needed at all, and it's quite possible that at this particular moment this remains a mystery. I think you, basically like me, try to avoid all this nonsense, or at least to find a reason behind it, but when asked why do I need this, no one could give you a justification that would suit you. Now think about self-education. That's a whole different story, correct? Here only you decide what and why you need to master. This model is much more advanced. In addition to another level of efficiency, self-education is also hundreds of times more interesting. This is where the winner strategy comes from. Third, life will become more interesting for you. In my experience, engagement comes at the moment when, instead of empty actions, you create a system and see a goal in front of you. This is about development. Remember, I gave you an example with a video game where the result of your actions and choices is saved. This is roughly what I mean here too. The only difference is in quality. The meaning of one action leads to the fact that you notice the meaning in another one, and so on in the chain. Thanks to it, you can enjoy the process. Do you know when the maximum number of amazing events began to happen in my life? When I started to consciously look at what and how I was doing. At the very moment when I began to build systems and stopped letting everything take its course. Then it was main turning point. As I already mentioned in my previous videos, this happened exactly when I started to learn the biography of Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. Then something switched in my head and I began to think systematically based on the result. After that, there were at least a few more moments of similar significance, and each of them allowed me to look at my actions in a new way. I'm always meaning-oriented and evaluate the consequences of every step. It's like I'm playing a very long game of chess and I love it. Meaning is one of the core components of any success. Without it, you will overpower yourself, and this is very ineffective in the long run, so it won't last for long. I wish you to understand why you take each action, because lack of control as well as excessive control doesn't lead to the good. Look at your life with open eyes and don't ignore its important components, even if you really want to do so. Guys, thank you very much for checking this episode. Thank you for watching all my videos if you do this. If you like this episode, give me your like. If you didn't, give me your dislike. If it wasn't useful for you, give me your comment as well to explain what should be improved in next time. And see you in the day after tomorrow. And yes, don't forget to follow my channel. So, thank you very much.